That book was awful.
Yeah, I know I look good. Yeah, I look fly. Baby, I'm just your type. I'm a baddie.
Hi, you guys. My name is Tamika, and this is my channel, Tamika Michelle. And today I will be doing my review of Stardaughter by, I think the name is pronounced Shveta Thakrar. Please correct me on that. I'm not quite sure the spelling. I couldn't get to hear it. This book came out August 11, 2020 by Harper Teen. Let's not. Okay, but by Harper Teen, I gave this book 1 star, so I'm not gonna leave you in the dust that I thought this book was an absolute disappointment. I did this as a buddy read with my homegirl. Listen, if a buddy read can't make a book good, nothing will. Buddy reads are where you can listen, you can do trash books together and like still have a good time, even if you're laughing off what you don't like about it. And if you're reading it and you're thinking, wow, like that was my whole thing, like with this whole book. So without further ado, Stardaughter tells the tale of a girl who's half human, half star. Her mother abandons her, the star half of her, when she's really young, so she's raised by her dad and her aunties. Well, there comes a day where she's dating this guy. She's always been hiding who she is because she was told when she was young, never ever let anyone know that you're a star, right? And so anyway, of course, she meets her boyfriend and they have a wonderful relationship. And come to find out, he's always known that she was a star. Due to a series of unfortunate events, she's enraged and accidentally puts her father in the hospital. I wish this was a spoiler, but no, not really. There's a lot of things I'm not telling you. But either way, now, being that she's only half a star, she doesn't have the ability to help her father. So she must now turn to her mother up in the sky to assist her in saving her father's life. Well, unfortunate for her, for her to do that, she must enter into a competition, if you will call it that, in order to obtain what she seeks to help her father. You guys, the whole thing's trash, but you know what? We're gonna get... Okay, now that I've hit you with the synopsis, sorry, I got my notes over here. I just wanna guide you. What's really cool, what I will give props to in the positive parts of this book, before we get into my issues with the book, is that the book did a beautiful job of showing Indian culture. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like the way she wrote everything, you can taste the food, you can see the clothes, you can hear the music. Like everything about it was absolutely beautiful in showing and showcasing Indian heritage, period. Hands down, did a wonderful job. This is supposed to be very reminiscent of Stardust by Neil Gaiman. Now I've read Neil Gaiman's Stardust and I've also seen the movie. This is nothing like it. So if you're gonna go into it with that comparison, you're gonna think the same thing I did. So I want you to go into it better than I did. And I think that you'll thoroughly enjoy it if I remove the lies. So no, it's nothing like Stardaughter. The only thing about it that's like Stardaughter is that there's a star. There you go. Don't think, that's it. That's it. The idea of the mythical creature, the star. That's it. But would you compare every mermaid book to The Little Mermaid? Would you compare every giant to Jack and the Beanstalk, you know? Like, would you compare every vampire to Dracula? Like, no, right? So if you go in it with that idea, I think you can beat the odds on this book. Now, there's people who really liked it. I looked on Goodreads. There's people who liked it. I'm not one of them. Will I probably never read anything from this author? Highly likely. That's how much of a bitter taste this book left me. But I think, if I'm correct, I think it's her debut novel. Do not quote me on that. I am not certain about what I just said. But if this is her debut novel, then I would definitely give her next book a chance, because essentially she can only improve from here. But if this is like, if she's like seasoned and this is how she writes, nah, brah, not for me. But, you know, change my mind. If you know something else that she wrote that's really good, link it down below. I'm willing to give it a try if it's y'all's recommendation. But let's move on to the rest of my review. World building, meh. It was meh. Was there any? No. I mean, I think the author went in thinking that you would get like the basics of things and that you would pick up on things as the story progressed. I'm not quite sure where this was located. Maybe the book explained it, but I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of in and out of it. But as far as I'm concerned, it was in some city on Earth. That's what I got out of it. I didn't really know where we at until we went to like the heavens, where the stars were at. And then even then, I didn't really get a grasp of what that world really looked like. I assumed it was on clouds. I definitely got that it was in the sky. And my buddy, she very much made a good point. Not sure how they can breathe up there. That was never explained, but whatever. The magic system. Okay, what can we say about the magic system? The magic system was explained relatively well. Pretty much stars have very specific powers. Some I think are better in different kinds of arts, but in general, the stars have really two good abilities, and that's really healing and inspiring. And that's about it. That's it. That's really it. I want to say maybe that came from Neil Gaiman, but no, I don't remember any of that either. So no, like real talk, I would say the magic system was very rudimentary. They really had just really two good powers, which were to be able to inspire and to be able to inspire and to heal. I mean, I guess maybe as far as the humans are concerned. In the heavens, there was other things that could happen, like you could hear people's thoughts and things like that. And let's get into that. So our main character was not raised by her star mother. Let's just get that straight. She was not raised by her star mother, and she accidentally, as she's getting older and maturing, becoming a woman, came across her own powers. The only thing she knew she had was that she had beautiful silver hair that glowed pretty much in the dark, and that's what she would dye it up so no one would see that her hair is glowing. I would just say that I got a fancy ass, kicking ass hairstylist that just put some fancy dyes in there and just keep it moving. Glow in the dark hair paint makes a lot of sense to me. I'd believe it. I'm not gonna believe that you're a star, but I will believe in glow in the dark hair paint. That's just me. But anyway, she covered it up all the time. So that's about as much as we knew about powers of stars. Is that they had the ability to like maybe do some kind of harm to you, like shock you, like yeah, the magic system wasn't quite explained, and it was haphazardly thrown in little powers that they could do. And then every time it was like, you need to learn this. It was like she learned it within a paragraph of she needing to learn it. It was sickening. It was sickening. How is it that everybody else, we've lived here for years. It took us years to really hone our power. And then she just, in a paragraph, not even a whole chapter, a paragraph picks it up. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Like, it didn't make any sense to me. And there's some other things I didn't like about this book either, but we'll get to that. So let's move on to the next category, shall we? The writing. Okay, so the writing, yet again, this is a young adult novel, but you're talking to someone who's read a lot of young adult novels. I read a lot of adult too. Now, and to be fair, I'm coming off of a lot of adult, but I also read graphic novels and stuff. But to me, personally, Stardaughter isn't young adult, it's middle grade. I said what I said. The writing was so unimaginative, so rudimentary. It was, you were spoon-fed everything. Like, nothing really was left up to the imagination. To be fair, the book is well written, but it was a bit more rudimentary to me, and I just felt as though it wasn't really a young adult novel. It easily could have passed for a middle grade, and I don't know why they just didn't go ahead and do that. I think had they did that, then a lot of the things that happened in this book, the way it was written, would not have irritated as much to me as it did. Character development, 0. 0. I've never read a book before where there was 0 character development. There was, oh, I didn't know this person was like that situation, but them as a character didn't change really. This is them the whole time. You just didn't see it. So no, there was 0 character development. The main character is the same person she was at the end of the book. The boyfriend she dated was the same person she was at the book. The relationship between the protagonist and her love interest was trash, okay? And that relationship did not make them better people. It made them horrible people. It made them vomity people. And then the mother, bland. She was bland from the beginning to the end. Bland from beginning to the end. The most interesting characters were the villains. And even then, their reason for being villains was whackety whack. So no, I'm going to say no, nothing on the character development. By the end of the book, they were just kind of like, I'm patient. Literally, this is the villains. By the end of the book, I'm patient, I'll wait. Which means they've learned nothing from the situation. Nothing has changed for them. They're just like, I'm still gonna get what I want in the end. We live a long time. Wait. The plot was a waste of time, okay? Everything, but get this, listen to me now. Argument. Everything that happened in the book, when you get to the end of the book, didn't matter. All their efforts, listen, all of the efforts that the characters made throughout the book, once you get to the end of the book, didn't matter. Spoiler alert, okay? Don't watch this anymore if you're not, because I'm about to do a little bit of a spoiler, okay? Her father was always going to live. Always going to live. No matter how this book went down. And that's the whole point of the book. My father's gonna die. Gotta do the stuff. Help my father. Oh no, there's a competition. She was always never going. Listen, the whole book, she's preparing for a competition that in the end, she doesn't even do. She gives it to her toxic ex-boyfriend, but now boyfriend, by the end of the book. For him to do, and he doesn't even want to do it. That's the best part. I'm not going to tell you anymore, just in case you want to read. Believe it or not, I am leaving stuff out. I guarantee you I'm not telling you everything. But what I'm telling you is that everything that happens throughout the book doesn't matter. Like, there's a story told in this book about how somebody is all tortured or whatever, and there's things assumed about this situation, and come to find out all of it's a lie. And it's the only thing that's driving you to have fear for the protagonist. The only thing that's like, oh my gosh, this could happen to the protagonist. Oh my gosh, this is going to happen to the protagonist. But it didn't even happen in his own story. The story in the story was a lie. I said, now you're wasting my time. That's a lie, and then you find out everything else is a lie, and then you find out what happened regardless of any action she took. There's a whole evolution that happens that negates everything that happened in the beginning, that happened prior to this. So you're like, that chick could have just sat on her buttocks, and we still would have solved the situation. She could have did nothing. Can you believe me? Listen to me. She could have did nothing. And she still would have solved the situation on time. That's what I call a waste of time. That's all I'm saying. So I've told you about the writing, the character development, the world building, the magic system. And what I'm telling you is that altogether, it was just boring. There was a lot of talk. There was no action. The protagonist just walked and did stuff. I mean, there was a time where something got stolen. You know what? Let's talk about this competition for a second. The competition, which should be the biggest thing in the book, was trash. Absolute trash. And I kept thinking to myself, how would this competition work out? Let me explain. I'm not going to tell you the great details, but in this competition, it's a talent show. I'm already like, ugh, a talent show? That's going to be the big thing that happens, a talent show. And then, as you know, in talent shows, you all have different kinds of talent. So how do you compare if a ventriloquist act against singing, against someone sitting there writing a book? These are things that happen. There was a ventriloquist, someone who just sat there and wrote a book, and then someone who's singing. I was like, why? I didn't understand why. Why did she have to be like this? I was so disappointed. I really thought I was getting Stardust. I really did. I knew I was gonna get me some pirates. I just knew that there was gonna be some witches. I knew I was getting some Stardust. And they gave me whatever they thought that they gave me. They gave me Hunger Games, but talent show Hunger Games. That's what they gave me. Talent show Hunger Games. And no one died. I'm sorry. Spoiler alert, no one died. No one. That concludes my review of Stardaughter. I'm sorry, unfortunately, it was not for me. Funny enough, I do recommend that you check it out though. Now that you hear my review, you might enjoy it. And I left out a lot of characters. I left out a lot of scenes. I left out a lot of plot points. So there is a lot for you to discover with this book, but I promise you'll probably can read it in a day if you really wanted to. If you tried, you could probably devour it in a day. There's not a lot of information to consume, so it's a really quick read. I guess you got that going for it, but honestly, I would tell you, if you had to choose between something you're really excited about in this book, I would say give it a pass. You're not missing anything. Anyway, I hate that my first review is so disappointing. But anyway, you guys, I have more book reviews to come, actually promising books that actually were absolutely magnificent that I'm excited to tell y'all about. But as always, till next time.